We got our guest co-hosts that are here in the building with us today. And, you know, as usual, over here at the Visionary Arts Center, you know what I'm saying? Make sure to book your time, subscribe, all that good stuff. But besides that, we got a lady who, I don't want to just say she's a rapper, because that's just limiting. You know what I'm saying? You know, a woman of many hats. You know what I'm saying? A visual as well as an audio artist. Can I say that? Can I say that?
Yes, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that.
She's doing big things, you know what I'm saying? And like moving from like Zimbabwe, you know what I'm saying? Down to Nashville, over here to the 6.
Yeah.
And we have, you know, a very special guest, Charmaine in the motherfucking building.
On my strategy. Silly bitch, how you a boss and you renting shit? You see my name on the ownership, tippy toe, little bit tongue, yeah, I own a shit.
Gang was
Where's my fucking sound effects?
Yeah, because I was
Where's the yeah, as it should be.
And we got DJ Chanel also, you know, in the cut. You know what I'm saying?
DJ Chanel Marshall, aka Big Sound Barbie.
Big Sound Barbie.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. 2021, we're pretty much at the end of it so far.
Yeah.
Right? We're a couple months out, right?
Yeah.
How has your 2021 been for this? Like, how has it been?
Oh wow, it's been full of blessings. Like I cannot complain about one thing, to be perfectly honest. Of course, you know, like we all go through a little bumps in the road and the ups and downs, but for the most part, I've been having so much fun with everything that's been going on with like my music and just expanding, meeting new people, performing. So I'm happy. Yeah.
Hood Avant.
Hood Avant-Garde.
Yeah. Why that title?
Because I wanted to redefine what it meant to be like a modern day Renaissance woman, because you know, like when you look back in the day, it's always men that are at the forefront of everything. And then you have the women surrounding them, you know, serving them, you know, catering to them. And I wanted to switch that narrative and make it like people have already been doing it, but I wanted to make sure that it was a huge part of what I'm doing, to show people like us as women, we're running things, eh?
Facts.
Women are running things right, especially right now. All the women artists, they're killing everybody. So I just wanted to make sure I made that known. Like I am all for anything women based, especially Black women based.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I chose that title.
Yeah, and even like with your songs, right? Like your videos and the songs are like they're super animated, right?
Yeah.
Do you have visions when you're writing the songs? Like this is, you know, like I think we kind of even spoke about it like in the intro, like, you know, songs for shows, songs for videos. Are you thinking about that while you're writing it?
Oh, absolutely. Like every song I make, the intention behind it, we always think about on live shows. Myself, my executive producer Lance, as well as Ty, aka Runway, and Brahma. We always we sit before every session. We sit down and we think about what vibe we want. You know what I mean? Or we discuss what we're trying to do, and everything we do is aimed to make sure that live shows go crazy. You know what I mean? So like when we're working on anything in the studio, I already see the video. I already see how it's gonna sound live. I already know how I would want the instrumentation and the arrangement for my band to sound like. So there's definitely like a really big intention.
There's purpose. Yeah.
Were you like, sorry to cut you, Freddie. Were you like that from young too? Like when it came to music, like worrying about the instruments and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I started playing piano when I was 8. So I've been always like I've always had my hand in music. My dad plays piano as well, and my mom sang in the choir. They both sang in the choir. So like our family is very musically inclined. So I've always been in that realm, and watching people like Beyonce and Lil Kim, Missy Elliott, who make songs with the intention of getting a certain reaction or a certain vibe. That's what I told myself I would go off of too, if I was to ever be an artist.
Are the African, like, because I always hear like how they're so like strict and they want you to go to school and become a doctor. Do they support you with the music?
Funny thing is, a lot of people think that my parents would be strict because they are African. They're very traditional African parents too, right? But because they love music just as much, they supported me like
that's dope.
They didn't question it. And actually, when I quit music when I was like 18, 19, they were so mad at me. Really? They were so mad. They're like, why are you quitting? Like, you need to keep going. And when I finally got back into it, they were so ecstatic about it. So I've always had that support in that field. Dope. Still. Yeah.
Yeah, because you took a few years hiatus, right?
4 years.
Yeah.
And had a ute.
Yeah. So is that why you took the hiatus, or was there other reasons besides that?
I took the hiatus because like at the time where I first met my A&R, because with Warner Music Canada, I met my A&R when I was 17.
Salute.
At a talent showcase. He was there, like connected, all that stuff. So, but at that point, I felt like my lyricism, my writing capabilities, and even my vision as an artist was not yet fully developed. And I feel like if I had continued at that age, I would have been stuck under the child star category.
Super aware.
You know? So I was like, I don't want to be stuck in that box. So let me take some time off, go through life a little bit, grow up a little bit, get some experience, even go through a little trauma, and then I'll revisit it. And then,
Okay, so Chanel said something, right?
Yeah.
She said, you're super aware.
Yeah.
So you're 18 and you're already figuring this out, fam? Like, how do you figure this out at 18? Right? No people are just going to be like, yo, I'm going to keep on going until I make it. Or I'm the shit.
It's just like, you know what? I know where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Like, how did you figure that?
Like,
I honestly, I have no explanation for it. Like, I've honestly always been very, very aware and very mature, even for like whatever age I'm at. That I'm able to think about these things and analyze these things and then make appropriate and then communicate them and make the right decision based off of like what I feel. So I mean, I can't really explain it. It's just the way God made me, and I appreciate it.
That's blessed.
Yeah.
So like even with your music, right? Like how I was saying in the beginning, how you rap, you're that's just limiting, right?
Yeah.
What would you describe your music as, if to an elevator explanation, let's say?
I would honestly just call it multiverse. Like that's the word I use every time anyone asks me. I just say multiverse because multiverse opens the door for infinite possibilities. Like there's no box, there's no limitation, there's no line, there's nothing. I can do whatever I want, however I want, and people will know like that's just Charmaine. That's just her.
What's Charmaine on her Marvel?
Question. So when I was hit up to be your DJ, you didn't talk to me personally. So what would you say to me to explain?
To you?
Yeah.
I would say...
I'm curious.
I would have told you like, hey, Chanel, what's good? I like your vibe and I think you would be perfect for me. My music is very, very, I'm very free-spirited. I'm very spontaneous. I'm very... again, multiverse. There's many dimensions to what I do. And just know that we have infinite horizons to reach.
Okay.
With what I'm doing. That's what I would have told you.
Okay. Okay.
Bars.
Now,
You know what I'm saying? Like, sold.
let's go back a little bit, right? Even with like you coming from Zimbabwe, you were born there, right?
Yeah.
And you have your mom, your dad, you have 4 siblings.
Yes. No, 3 siblings.
3 siblings.
Yeah.
So were there all 4 of y'all before you left to come to or go to Nashville? Or more came once y'all got to Nashville?
Yeah. my little brother, my baby bro came in Nashville. Okay. Actually, I jinxed my mom with him still. I had a friend that I loved to death, and she had a little baby brother, and I thought that he was so adorable. And I told my mom, I want a little brother. And she's like, no, I don't want any more kids. One day, she was just in her room, changing and stuff. I'm like, yo, mommy, your belly's getting a little big still. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, your belly's getting big. And then she went to the doctor, and she found out she was pregnant. And then it was my little brother.
Okay. So you got a little brother. You got another younger? Or
I have 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers?
Yeah.
Holy shit. So you're the one girl in the family?
I'm the only girl.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe that's why I move real masculine, It's like mad masculine energy.
Dogs,
Basically.
Okay, so you got you, you're two brothers, and y'all move from Zimbabwe to fucking Nashville, Tennessee.
Actually, we went to Chicago first.
This is so random.
We went
Okay, I
to
missed that part.
Okay, yeah. Take us to the travels of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we left home.
And why did y'all leave home before you even get into the travels?
Oh, because my dad was actually accepted into Lake Michigan University.
Okay.
And he wanted to go to school there and do his thing. So at first it was only going to be my dad, but then he decided to bring all of us. So we left home. From there, we went to Amsterdam.
Wow.
And then from there, we went to Chicago. Stayed there for a little bit. From Chicago, went to Michigan and Stevensville. And then he went to school, finished school, did his thing. And from there, then we moved down to Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in Nashville, that's where you started getting into your love of music and hip hop and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what were you first listening to when you were over there? What was the vibe?
Oh, I was obsessed with Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Yeah. Juvenile, Crime Mob, Lil Scrappy.
Oh, so you're down south.
Oh yeah,
Everything down
like
south.
Young Bug, just every throwback artist you could probably think of that was a rapper back in the day. I was listening to them. G Unit, Dipset, all of them. Like even my son, I named him after Joel Santana.
Wow.
Don't kill me.
Yeah, his name is Santana.
What about? Sorry, cut you. What about 8Ball and MJG?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, just checking because you're in Memphis, right? So
3-6 Mafia.
Wow.
That's the vibe I grew up on.
And were you already did you start getting into making music at that time?
No, I only was listening to more. When it came to like what I wanted to do musically, I was listening to a lot of R&B, like for example, Alicia Keys, Beyonce, like those are the people I looked up to at that age. And even when I started playing piano, the first song I ever played was If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys.
Okay.
And I played that shit by ear.
Did it bother you that you were moving around so much? Because as a child,
yes.
you're not stable in one place, right? So
yes. I mean, now that I'm older, it doesn't bother me as much. And like, I appreciate it because if it wasn't for the fact that I was moving around so much, I wouldn't have had so much time to invest myself and immerse myself in music.
Facts.
Because that was the only stability I had. No matter where I went, I knew music would follow. I couldn't really build friendships. I don't have any childhood friends because I moved every single year.
Yeah.
But like music was the only thing I could really hold on to that I knew I would never lose.
okay.
Yeah. And it worked out, clearly.
Yeah, right.
So you're in Nashville. That's the last place you were in the States before you got to Canada.
Yeah.
So what was the transition like between Nashville, where it's like a lot of white people, a lot of black people,
Yeah.
and then you come to this multicultural, crazy melting pot of fucking Toronto?
Honestly, I loved Toronto when we first got here. Not, mind you, it was a whole lie how I ended up in Toronto. That's number one. I will never forget that. Like, we were at school, my brother and I, my second oldest brother and I were at school, and usually we used to take the school bus because down there, like, school bus picks you up, school bus drops you off, right? So we were supposed to get on a school bus after school, and then they called, my mom called the office. They told us, hey, Charmaine and Jonathan, please don't leave on the school bus, stay in the office, whatever. And we're like, what the hell? Like, that's odd. Then my mom pulls up, she tells us, hey, like, we're going to Disneyland. Hey, like, let's go. It's gonna be fun.
Really, it was Wonderland.
No, dead ass, because like she's like, we're going to Disneyland. I was so excited. And then like we started driving. At first it was just my mom, my dad wasn't there. And then like we pull up at a random gas station like hours later. And then
Petrol?
No, it was BP.
Oh fuck!
It's very American.
Yeah.
It's one of them independent ones. Yeah.
And so like we pull up to the gas station. I thought my mom was just gonna go in there. She said she was gonna use the bathroom or whatever, right? We're just chilling in the car. She comes back in the car, but she goes on the passenger side this time. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. So who's driving the car? Then my dad pulls up and he goes like, my dad, you see my dad walk into the door. He comes in the car. He just starts driving like there's nothing. I'm like,
Freddie, you might have to timestamp this. You might be giving out too much information.
okay. Long story short, I turned around. There was a U-Haul trailer hooked to the back of the car, and they told us we're going to Canada, fam. And I was so
that's sick.
cheesed.
You guys drove into Canada?
Yeah.
We drove.
Yo, from
drove
Nashville?
I wasn't
From
ready.
Nashville.
Yeah, I wasn't ready either. I was like, okay,
Yeah, I'm
this
like-
is some real
you're her
origin
DJ,
superhero.
man.
No, listen.
I haven't told her this story.
I just
really
know
haven't
the
told her this
skeleton,
story.
bro. I didn't
Right,
know
you're
we
just
were a
like,
real life
whoa.
superhero.
This is good.
But
The
back to the
superhero origin story things.
bro, like, but you know what? Back to the multicultural like environment of Toronto. Like, I actually really love the fact that there's so many different cultures. I didn't feel left out. I didn't feel excluded. I felt like it was a home, even though I didn't know anybody. But it just felt homey, and like I've been very content being here since.
With Toronto, right? Like, this is just off of my brain right now. Like, being somebody Zimbabwean.
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm Ghanaian, and I'm
Okay.
I should
I'm an
know
African
better.
brother.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm the trashiest Ghanaian you'll ever fucking meet. Okay, I don't know nothing about my roots. I'm just trash as shit.
Oh, well, we gotta fix that.
Yeah, I'll fix that up just now. But when you got here, right, you see all the
Yeah.
different cultures. First, you're seeing West Indian culture, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, all the different, like, Arab cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who did you, like, find yourself clinging to or, like, grouping with when you first got here?
Oh,
Niggas.
definitely the Caribbean culture, the family. What?
Yeah, niggas.
Definitely niggas. But you know, like even now, even the way I talk, sometimes people don't even realize I'm African because even my lingo is very like Jamaican. Only because I've been hanging out with people from Jamaica a lot since I got here, and that's that's the community I gravitated towards, and I feel at home and comfortable with them. You know what I mean? So
It's a Toronto thing, though. It's like, it's not just like, even though like a lot of like a big percentage of like the slang and everything is derivative from Jamaican culture, right?
Yeah.
You can't even help it when you live in Toronto.
You can't
Yeah,
escape
you
it.
can't.
Like at some point in time, you will fall victim to it, and like you have to.
It's in there.
No, real shit, because I'm from Montreal originally,
Yeah.
right? So when I go home now, they're like, yo, you talk like a real Toronto guy. And I don't even notice the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying ting and all these things. It's just natural,
Yeah.
right?
Listen, I think it's something to be proud of, you know, because
Yeah.
everywhere you go
Yeah.
has their accents, their slangs, and here we are. Toronto has their own thing.
That's a fact.
And I love that people don't make you feel weird about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's some places where you like, if you try and pick up their lingo, they'll be like, yo, what are you doing, fam? You're not from here. You're not one of us. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
here, everybody's just like,
Nobody
yo,
gives a shit.
gang.
Yeah.
They want that, right? Because
Yeah.
Toronto wants that acceptance too. So if you accept
Yeah.
it, it's just like, we got
Yeah.
one. We got
the
one.
appreciation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I love having one. Local slang.
There's something where I read that like that your family was homeless at some point.
Oh yeah.
Was it here in Toronto?
Yeah.
Holy. So how did that happen and what was that like?
My dad just lost it. Like he lost his job. So when he lost his job, everything just went downhill, obviously. You know, we lost the house. And at that point, he was just kind of trying to figure things out. And we ended up in this shelter. And it was actually in Scarborough. And every time, I always pass this place. And every time I pass it, I always have to say a prayer, like a thank you to God. Because that was probably the worst time of my life.
Crazy.
Here, you know, like it was the Lido Motel on Kingston Road, just after Morningside, and it was one room, 6 of us sharing one room, one bathroom. The kitchen wasn't even a kitchen. There was no stove. It was just like we had to go buy a hot plate from the thrift store. You know, I remember this shit cost like $2.99. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, it was not fun. It wasn't fun. And that moment was actually the reason why I even started getting into music seriously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was like, yo,
motivation. It was like,
I have to take my family out of this. I can't live like this. We can't live like this. And that's when, you know, I went online. I was looking for talent shows, open mic nights, anything I can get, like, use to get myself out there. And I happened to see the talent show where my A&R now, Ron, was going to be there from Warner. And I'm like, okay, let me try and get in there. And I did. And it's been history since.
Wow. That's
You need those vulnerable moments too. You know what I'm saying? You need those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start seeing some attention started happening from the music?
In terms of like people like paying attention?
Yeah, like, cause like you can start making music, but it doesn't mean that like your first song out, you're gonna like, people are gonna be on your shit.
Actually, Bold was literally the first actual song, like the first official song I've ever put out there.
Trina's daughter. took a trip, couldn't get your father.
Wow.
When I got signed,
And that was like last year, no?
yeah. When I got signed, I had nothing out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, nothing. Not even one. Like, I remember I put up like a 1-2 SoundCloud links like years before, and I never did it again. And then when I did actually get signed, like they really took a chance on me.
Were you making songs though? Like, did you have songs already produced or like mix and master that you weren't putting out? But
I started writing songs 2 months before I got my record deal.
Blood Clot.
Wow.
That's insane.
2 months.
Talent.
Insane.
2 months. I quit. I remember in 2018, I was fed up with my 9 to 5 at Sephora. I couldn't stand anymore. And I quit my job. It was just me and my son. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I went on social assistance and I said, what I'm going to do is focus on my music. That was January 2018. I signed my deal by April, the first week of April.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It was wild. Like,
Can we get a round of applause for that?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's dope, man. That's positive as fuck.
And that's why I keep telling people, like, yo, I couldn't do any of this without God, fam. Because like the setup, it's crazy. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
Niggas be fighting just to
women too?
get, niggas be fighting just to get the attention of somebody. And I feel like everything kind of just,
Fell into place.
yeah, it fell into place and it found me effortlessly.
By design.
And I didn't have to work too hard.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it was meant for me. And like, I'm really grateful for that.
Because even I told you the first time I seen you was the Block Talk.
Yeah.
You telling me that, I could have sworn you were doing music for years because just your energy, your presence, everything about you, the way you just went off the top right then and there.
Yeah.
You can't. Not a lot of people are doing that, right?
And, I got signed as a singer. I started rapping a year ago.
Wow. So they signed you thinking like, okay, we're gonna get some like R&B, some pop and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the songs I was writing was definitely R&B. I mean, it was on the trap R&B side already, but yeah, no, I didn't start rapping until like about a year ago.
So I know it's not a finesse because you're just starting to make music pretty much.
Yeah.
So what made you decide, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that. I want to rap too.
It's actually my producer, Lance. One day, like, we had done like a bunch of sessions, and I already had done like mad R&B stuff, even like some like new jack swing stuff, and we had explored everything from Afro beats to everything. We did everything on that in that realm. And then one day I walked in, he's like, "Yo, you want to try rapping?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then that's the day that we did Bold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Off top.
That's the day we did Bold. And once I did that, I'm like, yo, I might be a rapper still.
That's crazy.
Even your recent track with the Spanish one. How did you even like decide that you were like the idea of doing that?
See, like for me, when I go in my sessions, I never think about it beforehand. I go off whatever vibe I'm feeling in that moment. So like if I walk in and I want to make a country song, we're making a fucking country song. If I walk in, I want to do a rock song, we're doing it. So like that day, my co-producer, David Ariza, he's actually Colombian. So we had always been like listening to Latin music, and I love the vibe.
The reggaeton.
Yeah. And one day we're just like, yo, let's make a Latin track. And I was like, sure. Okay.
That seems to be a running theme when you were in the studio. Sure. Okay.
I don't say no to anything. I will try anything at least once because I feel like
In the studio.
Yeah, I will try
Put that
anything
out
at
there,
least once in the studio.
Put it out there in the studio.
In the studio. Because I don't know my own capabilities. So who am I to say I can't do something until I try it? And like trying new things actually is what unlocked some of the best songs I've made so far.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a name at you. Missy Elliott.
Oh my God, please.
What comes to mind when that name pops up?
GOAT. Legend.
Why?
Legendary. Listen, Missy Elliott, bro, like everything from her, like going into a studio and not wanting anybody in there and just people, let her work. Let me do my thing and then you can come back. Her having a hand in everything, micromanaging, making sure every detail is perfect. The visuals, the cadences. She does things that you don't think about off the top of your head when it comes to rap songs.
Yeah.
Like,
music in general, not even rap. Music in general.
In general, yeah. Like who do you know would have been like easy go on a fucking song?
Yeah.
Who? Nobody.
Yeah.
You know, like she explores things and she doesn't do things that people expect her to do. She goes outside of the box. She goes outside of your expectations and she tells you, this is who I am. Take it or fucking leave it. You know, and I respect her workmanship. I respect her vision. I respect her style. Everything. Like Chanel says, chef's kiss. Like, bro, Missy. And you know what's crazy? Like the other day I was crying because she liked one of my comments.
Really, eh?
No, like it sounds so stupid, but like
No, that's big.
No, I was actually like in tears. Like I was boo-hooing like, what do you mean you like my comment? Yeah.
Yo, that's dope.
Crazy.
Yeah. And tell us about the importance of self-love to you.
For me, like the consensus I came to is if you don't love yourself, then who's going to love you?
Basically.
Like that's just the basis of it. If I don't love me, I can't expect anybody else to
And
love
if you can't
me.
show yourself love, how are you going to show other people love?
And I can't show that love, you know? So I had to come to a point where, of course, like we all have our insecurities. We all have things that we have qualms about ourselves. But I had to come to a point where I had to say, yo, like, regardless of my flaws, bro, Charmaine, you're a lit bitch, bro. Like, you're a lit fam. And anybody who is able to be in your presence will feel the same. Because like I love radiating positivity, light, joy, watching people be happy because of me. You know that, and I couldn't do that until I was happy because of me. So it was very, very important for me to get to that point, which is part of the hiatus that I took as well. That was an element for that because I was very insecure. I was not confident in myself. I didn't even like the sound of my voice in the microphone.
Could have fooled me.
It's a long story, bro. And mans were in shambles, but now like I got it together and I've gotten to a point where like even when I do things, when I fuck up or there's something I do that's not perfect, I'm content with it because I know like at the end of the day, I love me and it's just me. So be okay with it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And even with you, Chanel, right? A woman DJ, right? Give us some of the struggles that comes with being a woman in the DJ world, because it's a man's world when it comes to DJ. So, you know what I mean? There's a big boys club going on out there.
I think it's just like when people look at you, instantly they think that like you don't know what you're doing, right? So from people doing pop quizzes on like, oh, what's this with this to see if I know my equipment and what I'm doing, to one of the first gigs I've ever had, I had someone come around. I'll never forget this because I was at a bar where I was really comfortable, loved the bartender, and this guy came around and he just started spinning off the shit that I bought. The shit that I spent time with to learn, to understand. The shit that like, if this breaks, I actually don't know what I'm gonna do because this is like, listen, I was like, I was too young. I was just young, living on my own, didn't know how to budget, and I just spent money on this controller that I said I was gonna make sure I make it work. And this guy come and spin off on my shit. I remember my fist went up so quick, that bartender flew over the bar so quick, stopped that. But it was just on some like, and up until, so that was like 2018, okay? Up until July this year, I had someone go, and this time, because it was a good friend's wedding, I had my turntables and my mixer, so I had my $5,000 set up. And because this guy saw me go and dance with the bride, took it upon himself to go touch my shit. Now, if I was a man, would he go around there and do that without checking me or asking me first? No. He went around and started spinning until I had to say to like his catering company, like, yo, his boss, I was like, yo, I'm really uncomfortable right now. You know, as requested by the bride in her email, text message, Chanel, you must leave the booth and come dance with me. So don't you think I picked my songs in order to do that? Why are you going back there and thinking that I don't know what I'm doing?
Crazy.
That I need a break? I didn't ask.
Yeah.
So
You already
it's
had
just-
a premix, basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like when going into the scene, and then so being a woman, being black, people don't think you know what you're doing, and that's just like the struggle there. You know what I mean? There's other struggles within that, but like as a DJ, I had to deal with that, and then dealing with the fact that Toronto, touching on like going to a club and going somewhere and hearing something unique, the people don't really want that. So then I realized I ended up spinning people's Spotify playlist.
Wow.
So like, do I find joy in that when I want to go into turntablism? Is there even, and there is a scene for that, but it's an older scene, it's not my scene.
Yeah.
Why is it that people don't want to go to the club and hear something different?
Yeah. You said
You know
that
what I
word,
mean?
turntablism. I'm like, holy shit, dude. People even know what the fuck that is. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying? Ooh.
Like
Chill.
And like even when people dog on me for having like older DJs and like people in the scene, in the art scene, the music scene, dog on me for using a controller. Some of my best mashups happen live. I use all 4 channels, and like people don't even realize what you could do with that. And like that's what I was doing. That I love that, but Toronto doesn't really encourage things like that in terms of support in that way. I don't even think people even would care too much if I started doing a set where I'm scratching, bringing in new tracks, new sounds, new voices, so.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more DJ question before we bring it all together, right? We've had this conversation like when we're podding and stuff like that about tracks like Toronto songs and stuff like that, right? Do you ever have an issue when you play something local and somebody's like, yo, turn that off? Or do you not even play local stuff like that?
So here's the thing. If I'm gonna make money, no, I'm not playing local stuff like that unless I get asked for events where they want that.
Okay.
So here's another thing too, is that like the parties I like to spin are parties where people invite me to go. Because they know my style, they know my vibe. I remember one time, or a couple parties I've done over the years where it's like, I want to hear Toronto artists. So they're fucking with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, is that being very selective of the places I spend to play so I haven't gotten that. I haven't played a Toronto song and gotten that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Even recently in playing Charmaine's tracks, when I spin, I haven't gotten that. You know what I mean? Because it's just like...
Not to interrupt you.
She don't got ops.
Yeah, she don't got ops.
No, I get that. No, but
That
here's
we
the
know
thing
of.
though, as a DJ though, like you'll play a new track and like people are not vibing. People are not bumping. And I'm like, yo, this is a Toronto artist. They're like...
Who cares?
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like...
That's trash.
Play little baby.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by like, like when it comes to playing Toronto artists, I don't so much so often, because again, a huge part of my brand is throwbacks and dance hall. So that's what I love to do. So am I playing like hip hop? Unless like we have artists that are coming out with something that fits along the lines of that,
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna play it. I don't really play a lot of trap parties.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
But you see, it's just sorry to cut you, but it just shows the hardship of like artists too to get out there. Like thank God Charmaine has you, right? But me and Guttzy had this problem when we went to the club and we were trying to get the guy to play Toronto songs, and the man was just like, they had a Toronto set with like 3 songs.
yeah.
But you see, it goes back to being strategic and intentional with your music, right? There's a lot of dope Toronto artists. Like, it's
100%.
ridiculous.
Yep.
It's insanity. So many, but not a lot of people are making music with intention. You're not making it for yourself. Like for me, I don't make music for me. I make music for people who are listening to me. And I already know, like, even if somebody doesn't know my song, the minute they hear that beat bump in a club, you have to dance.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
move.
You have no choice. Like you just
Something.
So, like you
have to feel
it.
something.
Yeah.
And like I just want, like, I really would love to see more of that, like
No, that's
behind
real.
a lot of different artists, because I know they can do it.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
Charmaine, even being your DJ and understanding the type of music that you spin, like again, intention, making it for the club. I don't know if making it for the club where the gal them are rocking. At the end of the day, if girls are not dancing, like
What's the fucking use?
you know
But
what I'm saying?
But the problem is too, a lot of artists in the last couple of years, a year or so, had that issue of there is no club to really play music to.
But listen, I was released in a pandemic where there were no clubs, there were no parties.
So we're just
Yeah.
bumping in
I
the
was
house.
But you were
thinking,
thinking-
ahead of the time.
Longevity.
I said, when that pandemic ends, fam, and niggas are back in the club,
They're gonna bump.
I
Just
want
want
them
the
to
party
say,
too.
I need to hear that
Yeah.
Charmaine, fam.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
you're right.
like there's ways of working around it, and I think it's just about like how bad do you want to do it? Like how bad do you want it? You know, you could either make music that's gonna, of course, everybody in the city will know you and will love you, but like what's beyond that for you?
Yeah.
Are you looking at like international? Do you want like a bigger audience?
You want to go perform on stadiums and shit like that.
Yeah, and if you want to do that, you have to be strategic in the way that you construct and like structure your music. You
Facts.
have to.
No, that's 100% facts.
Yeah.
How did y'all meet?
Oh, okay. So I ended up meeting my manager right now, Kwame, and we were looking for a DJ for Manifesto because Manifesto again was my first show ever.
Salute to Manifesto.
First one.
Jesse, all of them over there. yeah.
Shout out Manifesto. Thank y'all. So like we were looking for a DJ. I made it very clear and adamant that I want a Black woman as a DJ. I will not settle for less. Don't bring me anybody who isn't. You know? So like I think everybody around me understands me and my personality, my style. So Kwame, you know, like he was like, yo, I know this girl. She's a DJ. Her style, her vibe fits you so perfectly. And I think you guys will make the perfect duo.
Nice.
And then he sent me her Instagram. He sent me a couple actually. Like there were like maybe 4 options. And then he sent me hers. The minute I saw her, I was like, her. I don't need to hear nothing. I don't need to see anything. I want her. Get her. And then like it was like that. And then she called me the day that we're gonna have our first rehearsal. And right off the bat, it was like we're fucking sisters. Like
Dope.
it was actually crazy. And we instantly bonded, we instantly connected, and it's been like smooth sailing ever since.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
And even her telling that story again, I'm like, I actually had to ask her. I was like, did you pick me? Because I had been very like wary of just like working with artists in the city. And I'm like, did you want this? You know what I mean? Because I had my anxieties. I was like, am I going to do this again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, like when she told me, I was like, okay, so you want me here. This is what we're going to do. Then I saw the vibe. I was like, I want to be here. Performing with Charmaine is so much fun.
Bro, we actually have so
It's
much fun.
so much fun. Like, I can't wait to do more shows, like songs that I go to bed, wake up in the morning, she sent me a reference to a song, and I'm like, I can't wait to perform this. That's how I feel.
No,
You know what I mean?
dope.
So like,
That
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Couple last questions before we get to our last little segment here.
Okay.
You're signed, right? Everything's happening pretty quick, right? But with that, you get to see, as they say, behind the velvet rope.
Yeah.
What have you seen behind the velvet rope where you're like, this is not like what I thought it was going to be?
You know, for me, it's a little bit because I feel like I'm not getting the full experience that the average person would get if they were to be signed, simply because of the the bond I have with everybody on my label.
I see.
Like they treat me like family. You know what I mean? So like I can't really speak for, let's say, somebody who didn't have that bond and experiencing the same thing. But what I will say is there is a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of the Canadian music industry.
Facts.
And the infrastructure,
Is there infrastructure? Is there one?
It's in shambles.
Yeah,
Is there really one?
disorganized.
There isn't really one.
I've been saying this.
There really isn't
Yeah.
one. And like one thing I'm noticing is like nobody knows what to do when it comes to like, in particular, hip hop culture on the Canadian like music label side. You know, there needs to be some type of like tear down and rebuild so that we can create an environment and a structure that is beneficial to Canadian artists for them to branch out and blow out.
Yeah.
Or they
You know
don't
what I
even
mean?
have to branch off. Like they can actually blow up in the city.
No,
Yeah.
like blow.
Because
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't,
That's
like,
what I mean.
Oh yeah, because you can't
Yeah.
blow. Like if you really think about it, and it's no disrespect, like you have to leave. You
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
get like
You
there's
have
no
to.
platforms. There's no, like, I hate to say it, we're the only hip hop platform that are going to
Yeah.
interview you.
Honestly-
you don't have another hip hop platform that's going to interview you.
Honestly, nobody in the city really started to pay attention to me until they realized everybody outside of Canada was paying attention to me.
Mod thing. Not even a mod thing. It's regular.
Like, it was actually really I was actually getting clowned. Like, niggas were dragging me. Like, that freestyle you said you saw, I told you, like, niggas were dragging me. Like, oh, she's trash. Like, Shorty's like, no, who the fuck is this? Like, anybody.
That's
like, no.
crazy.
Everybody was dragging me.
That put me on.
Yeah.
I was a fan. I was just like, yo, I'm rocking with this girl. I don't give a fuck what she does. I'm supporting her shit. I'm gonna support her.
I mean, I appreciate her, you know what I'm saying?
No, like I was, listen, we're tracking songs every week. You see, we got a freaking long honorable mention list. I wasn't tapped in yet. You know what I'm saying? Gutsy was like, yo, you ever hear of this girl, Charmaine? And I was like, yo, I took in the Instagram.
Yeah.
Because
You know
I understand, like, sorry to cut you, but I understand how hard it is for you guys. Like, you guys don't have platforms. We see it. We see the struggle. You guys, just like you said, the radio stations is not going to accept you. So, like, where the fuck do you guys go to even get an interview just to talk about your music or whatever, right? This is why we're here, because well,
I mean, I will say I've been pretty fortunate in that avenue, and I think it's honestly just because I'm signed to a record label, which is why so many media outlets have been open to talk to me even before anybody knew who I was, and to like actually get to know me. And you know, they gave me that opportunity, but like I just don't. The fact that I was getting clowned 1 minute when nobody knew who I was, and then the minute that they see that I'm popping somewhere else, all of a sudden is, yo, you're lit, you're fire, you're this. And I'm like,
how it is.
The same song I spit in that video, A Young and Dundas, is the same song that's on my EP, I Don't Care. It's called I Don't Care. And like when that shit dropped, yo, this is fire. This is.
But it wasn't fire when
it wasn't fire when I was spitting it, and when you didn't know who I was. Nah,
don't worry about that.
Yeah,
fam.
you know. But like that, things like that gotta fix up. There's definitely like. We're standing in our own way when it comes to breaking out Canadian artists. There could be so many more of us. There's no reason why Drake, The Weeknd, Justin Bieber, Avril Lavigne, Celine Dion, 5 fucking goats, bro, had to skedaddle out of Canada in order for people to really appreciate and see what they're doing.
It's real talk.
There's no reason for that. You know, so like that's the one.
The city is too red eye. They don't want to accept you. They don't want to support you.
Well,
that's what it is.
The city, yes, is one thing, right? But the business, like the actual business, needs to fix up. You know, because like if they fix up too, you'll find that even people in the city might change their tune and start moving a little different when they see all these artists coming from Canada that they can support. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's something I'm hoping that it can be adjusted and fixed in the future.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I can at least do my part to open certain doors, especially for like women artists coming out of Canada, and so that we can all venture out and become like global fucking sensations, bro. Like, because we all deserve it.
Yeah, you gotta do it, man.
Yeah,
you do.
Charmaine in the motherfucking building. What do you got coming up for, like, I can't even say 2021. Like, we're pretty much at the end. So 2022.
You know, I got a new project dropping, Hood Avant-Garde 2.
Part 2.
Second project is dropping in 2022. You know, I might be going on tour as well.
Cool, no?
You know? So you might.
Do you have any features, people you're working with? Or maybe even like you do any movies or any acting roles? Because you seem like you got that energy.
I'm definitely doing some acting. I will not tell you what, and I will not tell you when it is, but I am definitely doing some acting.
Behind the scenes, you'll tell us?
No. But yeah, you know, don't be surprised if you see my face on the big screen one day.
Okay.
Watch it be on Power the next season of Power.
Okay.
All right.
Yo, fam, if I see Tariq, I have to fight that guy.
Def was that, please.
No, I'm like,
Def was that.
You know, but you know, I kind of like him now, though.
No, but Def was him and then work with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, like I owe you. I need to run you a fade, but then after that, yo,
we could be cool.
Let's link up with Mary J. Blige.
Let's make some money.
And let Mary J. Blige get you the singing thing. I got, see? Yo, I can write this shit, B.
Vision.
Songs of Mary J. Blige, my nigga. But yeah, man. Charmaine in the motherfucking building. I want to hold you for a quick second. Yeah. Okay. We got a segment called Smoke and Mirrors.
If you like this video or any other videos like this, there's more that you can choose from. Make sure you like, comment, and share these videos. And make sure you subscribe right now.